this.
I'm just going to go back to Tulsi. The United States should stay out of Venezuela. We don't want other countries choosing our leaders. We shouldn't be choosing theirs. Guess what? New development in the Venezuela. Trump administration authorizes covert CIA action in Venezuela. So now the CIA, they're the good guys always. So he's doing what every president has done. He's overthrowing countries so we can steal their natural resources and install a puppet. He's doing what they all do. Donald Trump, the peace president, already bombed Yemen, already bombed Iran, already still funding Ukraine, still funding a genocide in Israel, Gaza. Turns the other way every time Israel commits war crimes. This development comes as the U.S. military is drawing up options for President Trump to consider, including possible strikes inside Venezuela. So that's the CIA. You know what they do. They go in, they find a group of people, they arm them, they give them money, and they tell them go overthrow the government. That's what the CIA does.
All the groups here, all the stupid groups here. You don't think the CIA was behind almost all of them?
Right.
Or if they weren't, they infiltrated them and took them over because they did. Remember Patty Hearst and the Symbionese liberation? Yeah.
And as if this hasn't already been happening. Right? I mean, nothing ruins a secret operation like officially authorizing it. The Trump administration has secretly authorized the CIA to conduct covert action in Venezuela. The authorization is the latest step in the Trump administration's. By the way, let's say it says here, stepping up his campaign against Nicolás Maduro, the country's authoritarian leader. Well, let's say he is an authoritarian. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, what business is it of ours how Venezuela governs themselves? It isn't our business. And we don't give a shit about authoritarian rulers. We're in bed with 90% of them across the world. We're in bed with Saudi Arabia, for F's sake.
We're friends with the UK.
We're friends with the UK or locking up people for social media posts.
Authoritarian. We forced an experimental gene therapy on people.
That's right. We forced it. That's right.
What a fucking joke.
American officials have been clear privately that the end goal is to drive Maduro from power. That's what this is all about. The new authority would allow the CIA to carry out lethal operations in Venezuela and conduct a range of operations in the Caribbean. So it's imperialism again. It's John McCain again. The agency would be able to take covert action against Maduro or his government, either unilaterally or in conjunction with the larger military operation. I think it's funny that they have to pretend that Trump has to authorize this, as if they haven't already been doing exactly this.
Yeah, what? Like... Is this a joke?
So this authorization will finally allow the CIA to do what they've already been doing for years.
It just means they can pin it on Trump. Here's what presidential authorization's worth. Your name is the one that if it goes wrong, I guess it could fall on you.
Yeah.
Because they just are going to do what they're going to do.
That's
Let's
right.
face that fact.
It is not known, Kurt, whether the CIA is planning any operations in Venezuela or if the authorities are meant as a contingency. No, they're already doing it.
Before you even had this article, I knew they were going to do that. They've been doing it for how long now?
For 20 years. They've been
Great
doing
job,
it
guys,
for
by the way.
They've been doing it for 25 years at least that I know of.
It works so well that Maduro keeps getting reelected.
But this development comes as the U.S. military is planning its own possible escalation, drawing up options for President Trump to consider, including strikes inside Venezuela. So we're just going to go and attack another country that's not attacking us, that poses no threat to us. We're just going to go and do it and install a puppet and steal their natural resources. By the way, impoverishing their whole country.
Well, it's the only way we could win because we haven't won a war in 80 years, as you know. But sometimes the CIA can hop on the bandwagon of dissatisfied citizens and push like a revolution.
Right. So there are currently 10,000 U.S. troops there, most of them at bases in Puerto Rico, but also a contingent of Marines on amphibious assault ships.
Oh, I would never play Saudi Arabia because they're bad. I would never do Riyadh Comedy Festival because they have blood money. But here in America where I live, I can continue to do shows, Jimmy.
Yeah. In all, the Navy has 8 surface warships and a submarine in the Caribbean. The new authorities, known in intelligence jargon as a presidential finding, were described by multiple U.S. officials who spoke on the contingency of anonymity. Blah, blah, blah. Who gives a... Mr. Trump ordered an end to diplomatic talks with the Maduro government this month as he grew frustrated with the Venezuelan leader's failure to accede to U.S. demands to give up power voluntarily. So those aren't negotiations. Hey, you guys, you either give up your country over to us, or we're going to kill you.
I'm getting frustrated.
That's my negotiation. I'll give you my offer now, Senator. Nothing.
You're not even doing what I said. I'm frustrated. Quit your job as the duly elected president of people who probably like you even more because of my shitty plans that don't work out. They probably are more on your side than they would have been. And I'm frustrated.
The CIA has long had authority to work with governments in Latin America on security matters and intelligence sharing. That has allowed the agency to work with Mexican officials to target drug cartels. But those, I mean, the ones that they're running, that the CIA are running, those drug cartels. But
I hope they're authorized to run their own drug cartels.
But those authorizations do not allow the agency to carry out direct lethal operations. The Trump administration strategy on Venezuela, developed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, with help from John Radcliffe, the CIA director, aims to oust Mr. Maduro from power. Mr. Radcliffe has said little about what his agency is doing in Venezuela, but he has promised that the CIA under his leadership would become more aggressive.
Oh, that was their big problem, Jimmy.
And it's about time. It's about time the CIA got aggressive. We don't need no secret agents. We need in-your-face operations like frat boys on a Saturday night throwing haymakers when they aren't throwing up.
Hey, let's start doing MK Ultra again openly instead of secretly.
During the confirmation hearing, Mr. Radcliffe, the head of the CIA, said he would make the CIA less adverse to risk and more willing to conduct covert action when ordered by the president, going places no one else can go and doing things no one else can do.
Because they're illegal?
That's right. The United States has offered $50 million for information leading to Maduro's arrest and conviction on U.S. drug trafficking charges. Don't they already have the info? So you guys don't have any evidence? You need more? And you're going to overthrow his government anyway without any of the... You don't have any evidence or information, but you're going to overthrow his government and murder and slaughter fishing boats?
Well, alleged drug dealers.
Yeah. Mr. Rubio, who also serves as Trump's national security advisor, has called Mr. Maduro illegitimate.
Is he?
And the Trump administration describes him as a narco-terrorist. Mr. Maduro blocked the government that was democratically elected last year from taking power. This is the New York Times. By the way, they're on board with what Trump is doing. Do you see that they're on board? So when Trump is doing imperialism and overthrowing other countries for bullshit reasons, the mainstream press is all for him. Just like they said when Trump finally bombed Syria, they said, "Oh, Trump became president tonight" on CNN. Remember that?
Freed Zakaria. I appeared on Larry Wilmore's show with him.
The administration has asserted, but the Trump administration's accusations that he's profited from narcotics trade and his country is a major producer of drugs for the United States has been debated. You know why? Because it's not true. The administration has asserted in legal filings that Mr. Maduro controls a criminal gang, Tren de Aragua, but an assessment by U.S. intelligence agencies contradicts him.
Hey, that's our gang we made.
That's right. While the U.S. military operations, like the strikes against boats purportedly carrying drugs from Venezuela territory, are generally made public, CIA covert actions are typically kept secret. Some, however, like the CIA operation in which Navy SEALs killed Osama bin Laden in 2011, are quickly made public. Hey,
because that was a lie.
What number SEAL team are we up to now? It's hard to keep track.
666.
The agency has been stepping up its work on counter narcotics for years.
Don't like the competition. And that's why the problem is being solved so well, because of how they've stepped up their work.
Because how they stopped, Gina Haspel, Mr. Trump's second CIA director during his first administration, devoted more resources to drug hunting in Mexico and Latin America. Oh, really? Under William J. Burns, the Biden administration's director of the CIA, began flying drones over Mexico hunting for fentanyl labs. The covert finding is in some ways a natural evolution of those anti-drug. If you think the CIA is fighting drugs, I've got a vaccine I'd like to sell you.
Everyone's been under mass surveillance for how many years now?
Mass surveillance, at least since 9/11.
But somehow this darn fentanyl just keeps getting in. Well, we got all these drones and satellites and stuff. And and by the way, the guy has to live in Russia now because, and they've gone back to spying on everybody 1,000 times over. But somehow this all got through because the CIA wasn't taking enough risks.
That's right. So, but here's what the New York Times says. The CIA's history of covert action in Latin America and the Caribbean is mixed at best. Oh, really? It's mixed?
There's some wins, but also some not so good things, Jimmy. Oh, my God.
In 1954, the agency orchestrated a coup that overthrew President Jacobo Arbenez of Guatemala, ushering in decades of instability, which is exactly what the CIA wants. The CIA-backed Bay of Pigs invasion of Cuba in 1961 ended in a disaster, and the agency repeatedly tried to assassinate Fidel Castro, like 160 times. That same year, however, the CIA supplied weapons to dissidents who assassinated Rafael Leonidas Trujillo Molina, the authoritarian leader of the Dominican Republic.
Wait, authoritarian? I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean.
What is that supposed to mean when you're assassinating government leaders? What do you call that?
I mean, when you keep talking about the post-World War II rules-based order, that sounds very authoritarian to me.
The agency also had its hands in the 1964 coup in Brazil, the death of Che Guevara, and other machinations in Bolivia, a 1973 coup in Chile, and the Contra fight against the leftist Sandinista government of Nicaragua in the 1980s. And the real reason they killed Che Guevara is to go for the real money by taking over the extremely lucrative Che Guevara t-shirt business.
Do you know what authoritarianism means, by the way?
What does it mean?
Use of strong central power to preserve the political status quo.
And so I just want to show you, this map shows the U.S.-sponsored regime changes and military invasions in Latin America since World War II. It's everywhere.
It's mixed at best.
It's everywhere. Grenada, Venezuela, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, Peru, Panama, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic.
And all the problems now they're complaining about, I just would like to point out, happened after this delightful map of mixed results.
This is the good results. So every place except 1, 2, 3, 4 places in Latin and South America.
And by the way, I bet we did them too.
I bet we did.
The whole map. If intervention was so good, why does it suck now?
Let's remember what Tulsi Gabbard said. Tulsi Gabbard said the United States needs to stay out of Venezuela. Let the Venezuelan people determine their future. We don't want other countries to choose our leaders, so we have to stop trying to choose theirs. She said that in 2019. That was before she was working for Trump.
Well, I can't wait for the kicker of... Well, that's before we knew.
But now she's all on board for it. Now she's all on. She was always against regime change wars. She was against Trump doing this when in his first term, and now she's part of his cabinet. Now she's all for it.
Yeah, what a bunch of heroes, all going along with the program.
Here's Tulsi Gabbard from 2019. You want to hear? This is from 2019.
I am a soldier in the Army National Guard. I've served now for nearly 15 years, served on 2 Middle East deployments, and I know personally firsthand the cost of war. In Congress now for over the last 6 years, I've served on the Foreign Affairs Committee as well as the Armed Services Committee, and I have seen how self-serving, powerful politicians from both parties have continued this foreign policy regime change war view where they think that we, the United States, should be acting as the policemen of the world, and that we should continue to go around and overthrowing and toppling dictators or countries who we don't like, costing us, the American people, trillions of dollars in the process, causing more suffering in the countries where we go and wage these wars, and, oh, by the way, undermining our own national security, as we are seeing playing out before our eyes in countries like North Korea.
Yes.
Where Kim Jong-un has clearly stated that he is holding on to these nuclear weapons as his only deterrent against the United States coming in and waging a regime change war in North Korea. So while, I'm deeply concerned about the fact that this summit yesterday ended without an agreement, because we need to see denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, it's not surprising because of this policy, this regime change war policy that, again, leaders in both parties in the foreign policy establishment here in Washington have perpetuated over and over and over again.
What's so interesting is that worldview, the regime change worldview, I mean, if it worked, at one time I thought it sounded like it made sense, but we've had almost 20 years of it, and it demonstrably hasn't worked. I mean, there's really kind of no debate about how badly it's gone. Why would people still support that?
That's a great question. It's, if you look at the military-industrial complex that benefits off of these continued regime change wars, you look at those in Washington who's have invested their entire careers built on continuing to wage these wars, and the most unfortunate thing is they sell them under the guise of humanitarianism to the American people who want to be able to do good things.
Well, hopefully she's still saying those things inside the administration, inside the White House. I would love to think so.
I mean, she's not saying them out loud now, is she?
So hopefully she's working behind the scenes to stop this garbage, but it doesn't look like it. And it looks like she's going to go along with this administration doing this stuff, even after she said that in 2019.
Why is there any behind the scenes if we have a democracy, by the way? Why is it you got to hope that when they go 180 degrees of the thing they just said a year or two ago, you got to hope that, well, they got to play the game and just try. Is that a real country I live in where that's your best case scenario? This is worthless, dude. This country's worthless.
I'm just going to go back to Tulsi. The United States should stay out of Venezuela. We don't want other countries choosing our leaders. We shouldn't be choosing theirs.
I got to screen cap that so I could tweet it at her if she goes against it.
October 19th, we'll be in Irvine, California. Then we'll be in Australia. Then we'll be in Burbank, California the day after Thanksgiving. And then Pottstown, Pennsylvania, December 6th. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.